Welcome to New Vision's Echo Tip program. Hello, I'm David Ward, an assistive technology instructor with New Vision located here in Roanoke, Virginia. So first off, this is our first program talking about, well, what is an Echo Tip? What is the Echo? What is our podcast or programming going to be about exactly? Well, first off, it's going to be nuggetized, if you will, into 5-minute little instructional segments. We got several of them already ready to go. And what is that Echo? Well, the Echo is part of a class of products and services known as virtual assistants. They're either software or devices that you can speak to and have them do different things for you. So with commercials and TV shows, you've probably seen things like Siri on the iPhone, which you can give a command to and it tells you the weather or sends a message or does different things. Or the Google Assistant on Android phones. Or the actual appliance, which will be what we're primarily focusing on in this program or podcast, which is the Amazon Echo line of products. So that line of products you can also talk to, and it's plugged up in your house, and you give it different commands. So what is this all connected to? Well, New Vision received a grant primarily dealing with continuing education of the elderly in the Roanoke Valley and about how they can use their Amazon Echo. We've already placed 60-some Echoes in 2017, and so now there's continuing education. Now, does that mean Echoes or this kind of instruction is only good for the elderly? Well, of course not. There's a lot of great things you can learn, and our nonprofit in particular often services the visually impaired or totally blind, and so they often find these devices useful. But I find I use one at home as my alarm clock. I use it to play music. I use it all the time. So that leads to the next question: what can it do, and how will it help me? Well, I can't cover all of that now, and that's what these podcasts will be doing, but some of the basics that you might find interesting are alarms, timers, things we're trying to remember, alarms that go off and tell you take your pills or take your allergy medication. That's me. Or calendar. You try to remember appointments. You can put them on a calendar and then ask your Echo, what's on my calendar for today, or what's on my my appointment for January the 1st or whatever, and it will read off your calendar. You can also read books from the Kindle store, audio books, lots of news, Bloomberg, CNN, lots of different content of a news nature, even local news here in the Roanoke Valley, and that might be the case wherever you're at. We have a local WDBJ7, WSLS. These are TV stations. They have programming. Even our local paper, Roanoke Times, has an Amazon Echo skill. And so we'll talk about what those terms and the like mean later in the podcast. So all those are real practical ways your Echo, if you were to get one, could help you. But that leads to the next question. Do you even have an Amazon Echo, or what are they, or where could I get them, in case I'm listening to this and I'm trying to figure out whether it's a good fit for me, a family member, or perhaps I'm a caregiver and I'm wondering if this will help a mom or dad or whoever, family member who may be needing a device like this, or it could maybe help them with some of their daily tasks. So I'm going to describe some of the units, and this is as of March 2018, so things are always changing, but this is current as of now. There is a small little Echo called the Amazon Echo Dot. It's about the size of a hockey puck, and it has a tiny speaker in it. And it also has an additional headphone jack on it, which could be headphone jack. So you can plug wired headphones into it, which is great. Now, none of the other Echoes have that feature, but all of the Echoes, including the Dot, have the ability to do wireless headphones or wireless speakers. And a Bluetooth headphones, you could get those for $25-$30. If privacy, or you don't want to disturb people around you, or you're listening to a Kindle book, whatever, and you don't want everybody else, be subjected to your book, those are all options as well. That's about a $49 US option, the Echo Dot. And then the next step up from that is the second generation Echo. And I say second generation because most people are familiar with the Pringle can looking device, this one shrunk a little bit. It's about $99 US. Does everything that the little one does, but has a much bigger speaker. So that could be really helpful if you're wanting to jam to some music, or maybe you're hard of hearing or the like. That could be really powerful. But apart from that, they're pretty much identical. They would all do the same things as far as our commands that we'll learn about in subsequent episodes. In addition to that, there are 2 lines of Echoes at this time, the Amazon Echo Show and the Amazon Echo Spot. They have screens built into them, which means they can play video content or display things on the screen. And since our nonprofit primarily deals with the visually impaired, I'll also mention that there's a zoom feature built in there that you can turn on and activate since it's a touch screen, and also a screen reader tool. And so those that are totally blind would know what I'm talking about there. So very versatile even for those with disabilities. But like I said, everybody can use these, and they're just very, very powerful. So, I hope you enjoy upcoming episodes. Like I said, there'll be little 5-minute episodes. If you have any questions, you can always go to our website, New Vision, ROA, that's the first 3 letters of Roanoke, where we're located, .org. And you can find out more and find other Echo tips that are documented in our newsletter. We can also be contacted on Twitter or Facebook, twitter.com/newvision, ROA, once again, no spaces. We'll bring up our Twitter feed. Also, facebook.com/newvision, ROA. Once again, no spaces. We'll give you our Facebook page where we often post little Echo tips almost on a daily basis. And so I think you'll find that potentially useful as well. We can also be contacted by email, and that's at echoprogram@newvisionroa.org. And so those are additional ways in which you get in contact with us. So I hope you enjoy the upcoming programming and podcast, and there's a lot of neat things. Starting with Echo tip number 1 at our first episode, we're going to be dealing with alarms and timers and things like that. So we'll get right into some really nitty-gritty practical things that could help you keep track of what's going on in your life. Well, I'm David Ward, and this is the end of this episode, signing off for New Vision, and thank you for listening. This episode is brought to you by New Vision, in connection with a grant from the Foundation for the Roanoke Valley, and with the kind use of WVTF Studios. For the newest information and content about what New Vision is doing, please see the website New Vision, ROA, the first 3 letters of Roanoke, .org. That's .org. New Vision is a nonprofit that provides information services and assistive technology training to the visually impaired living in Southwest Virginia. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision.